How much is your bank paying you for you to keep your savings with them? If you are an American, most likely that is a single digit. For me, for example, as a Brazilian, banks are giving me around 13% on my savings per year. So whatever number you reply with, whatever number you have on the table, you can always get better deals. So this is what we're going to cover in today's video. So if you are an American, you have Bank of America, Citibank, JP Morgan, whatever bank you have, you most likely are going to be looking at a ballpark of around 4% per year. That is throughout 365 days of interest on your savings account. So I pulled up right here some data, and all of these averages right here between American Express, Capital One, Barclays, Discover, Citibank, SoFiBank, whatever, you have between 3.5% all the way to 4.5% in yield. And this percentage, this 4, this 3, these numbers that I'm saying, they are for the whole year. So if you have $100 there and you leave it for 365 days, you're gonna accrue an interest of $4. That's correct. The whole year, you leave your money there and you think it's gonna be working for you. After the whole year, you only made $4. And guess what? The bank made more than that because they're lending your money. They're making high interest returns on your money. You leave that money there, they trade your money, they lend your money, and they give you a very small percentage, which is that 4-ish% per year. And guess what? If you look at the 10-year bonds for the US, you can see that we are around that 4.3% average. If you remember back in the pandemic, it was almost zero. So it doesn't make sense for you to keep your money in a savings account because you can invest. It was an injection into the economy. So they wanted you to take your money out and do something with that money because it is higher chance that you're going to get a better return somewhere else than with your savings account. They wanted to jumpstart the economy. So this is what happened during the pandemic. Now, which a lot of people could believe this is high. Wow, because we were almost 0% during the pandemic. And if we look back to the 08, we were at 5. So we're almost close to the all-time highs here for yield. So this is good, right? Well, wrong. What if you can make even more than 15, 13, 30, 100% returns on your dollar? So hear me out. 100% or around that ballpark of 100% returns on your dollar. Well, guess what? Crypto and DeFi offers you this method. But then you go and you start Googling it and you Google best stablecoin yield farms. And guess what? You get to this site or some site like this. It can be DeFi Llama, it can be D.Fi, whatever other website. You see right here, for example, Aave V3 with almost $3.5 billion in TVL. So very good, very reliable. Aave, one of the best in the market. And wow, 2.49%. Wow, this is giving me less than the banks are giving me for leaving my money there. And then you scroll down, you keep going down, 2.8, and then you have 4.69, 1.58, 4.64, so on and so forth. And you think to yourself, it doesn't make sense for me to go to the crypto route. Why? Because here I'm putting more risk on the table. That is true. When you leave traditional finances, you're putting more risk in the table. You could be sending that to the wrong address. You could be compromised. You could be hacked. There's a lot of uncertainties when it comes to crypto. So it would make sense for you to expect something higher, something that makes sense, that incentivizes you to move to crypto, right? Well, doesn't seem to be the case until you find the copy trading strategy from Betopics, which is what we're going to be covering in today's video. Because guess what? Here we have two strategies, and both of them are with stablecoins. They are with dollars. They're crypto dollars. So you don't need to do any complicated things. What you have to do is just deposit your dollars into any exchange. It could be Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, whatever that may be. With that dollar that you deposited, you're going to buy USDC or USDT. As simple as that. And once you send that USDC or USDT to Betopics, which is our protocol, here you can deposit in one of these two strategies. If you don't know how to do any of this, we have videos here on the channel explaining you how to deposit, how to withdraw, how to deposit into the copy trading. That makes it a lot easier for you. But nonetheless, here we at Betopics are an option protocol. So we deal with options. Options if you know, they are the backbone of the traditional market. There's billions and some even say trillions of dollars of value with options in the traditional market. And options are starting to catch on with crypto as well. So crypto options are starting to become a thing. But because they're so complicated and they can be very complicated, we created a copy trading strategy. So our professional traders are going to be doing that trading for you, and you don't have to do anything else. We have a success fee, which by the way, you can lower that to keep more of your profits. But at the end of the day, you're still making way more money. And I'm going to show you the numbers, way more money than by just depositing in your bank, just leaving your money in your bank. Let's take, for example, the first one out of these two strategies, which is the Phoenix strategy. The Phoenix strategy has been on since mid-May of 2023. So almost 2 years since this copy trading was launched. And guess what? It hasn't had any negative month since then. So almost 24 months of making you money. And Everton, how much does it make? Well, so far, if you had started back then in 2023, you would have made 40% on your money. So in less than 2 years, 40% on your deposits. So if you had $100, you would have made 40. If you had 1,000, you would have made 400. And that is already net. This is yours to keep. This is not considering the fee that we have for trading this money for you. So if you look for the projection, which is the yearly projection that we give you, we have been profitable with this one as well for the entirety of its lifespan. And guess what? We are around 4% this month alone. And today is still the 17th of April. So just a little bit over the halfway of the month, we've made 4.14%, which is in a single month what your banks are going to be paying you for the entirety of the year. Again, a single month here with Bitopics is giving you more returns than what your traditional banks or even your traditional DeFi yield protocols are going to be paying for your stablecoin, for your US dollar. So you could be thinking, well, this is a scam. Why are they able to make such a high yield? So as I said, when you're looking at a yield protocol, a yield farm protocol, what they're doing, they're getting money out of fees, okay? So every trading, swapping, converting to USDC or out of USDT that happens, they get a commission. So if someone swaps Ethereum for USDC, or they swap USDC for Bitcoin or whatever other token, if they interact with USDC, there's a commission, there's a fee, and that fee gets distributed to everyone that is participating in the liquidity pool. This is how in DeFi, how you make passive income. This is not how we do it. As I said, we are an options protocol. So right here, we are trading options that are cash settled. They are USDC settled, USDT settled. And this is where the magic happens, because we're not waiting passively for someone to swap these tokens, to buy or to sell USDC, to buy or to sell USDT. No, we're trading volatility. There's an active trading happening behind the scenes with professional traders doing all the work for you. So this is how we can get such high yields. So this is no passive at all. This is passive for you, the deposit here into this strategy, but it's not passive for us. We have to keep working to guarantee these returns right here. So this is why we have such commission, as you can see right here, of 30% success fees, which, as I said before, you can still lower that by using incentives of the protocol. So Everton, why have I not heard of it? Why have I never heard of Bitopics or anything like that? Well, as I said before, options are still a new thing. They're very niched for crypto, and a lot of people don't know how to use it. Let's be honest. So this is why the copy trading is such an amazing tool for you that want to get into options, but you don't know what you're doing. Well, you can start by depositing here, and then you can try out our other features on the protocol. We can buy and sell options. We're going to be launching soon the ability for you to do multi-leg strategies all at once. So you're going to be able to open condors, spreads, whatever it is. Spreads, we can already offer you spreads right now on the Earn tab. You can see on the options cards right here. These are spreads. They're just presented to you in a simple way, but these are pretty much spreads. With the expiration date, you can decide the direction if you think the market's going to go up or down or flat, and here you have all the returns available for these spreads. And because crypto options, crypto derivatives as a whole is still so little, we don't have that reach that we would like. So this is why, if you tried and you're trying with Bitopics, if you're using Bitopics even with the copy trading, help us out by sharing this. Let us get to 2 million of assets under management here. Let's show the world the power of options and how profitable they can be, especially with such a professional team behind the wheel. deal. So again, to wrap up this video, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think you're going to be able to find any stablecoin strategy like this one anywhere in DeFi. So if you want to try it out, the first link in the description is the link for Bitopics. The second one is the link for our Discord. You can jump in there and let us know, ask whatever question you may have. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. You have a safe weekend. Take care.